am very pleased to be interviewing Todd Cunningham, who's Senior Vice President, Strategic Insights and Research for MTV Networks. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for coming.
So let's start with your background. How did you get to where you are today?
Wow. Well, I was born in Tennessee. I come from Jefferson City, Tennessee, and the reason I bring that up is because I'm the child who always asked too many questions. I asked why about everything, annoyed everyone around me, and that fueled me to kind of where I am today. I think that's really the secret for me. But after I graduated from college at University of Tennessee, I went to LA and was working in sales for Whittle Communications, one of the early pioneers of new kinds of advertising, and with products in schools and universities and doctors' offices and things like that, where I learned sales really in the most base kind of way. And then decided I didn't want to be in the chase for money. I wanted to do something that I loved. My parents had said, if you do what you love, the money will come. And so I decided to chuck it and go work in advertising. I called up Chiat Day, of all companies, didn't know what I was really doing. I called them up and they said, oh, we have an opening today that just opened up in invoice reconciliation for radio ads that went on radio stations, advertising on radio stations. And so I came in for an interview the next day, signed up for a 9-month commitment, and lo and behold, at Chiat Day is Rob White, who basically is one of the pioneers of bringing in account planning to the U.S. And he allowed me to train under him and basically learn account planning from the masters there. And I've had the good fortune of working at companies that respect creativity, that respect an understanding of the consumer from an emotional and a rational perspective, and that's fueled me to where I am here today. I've been here for 15 years, and started at MTV, proper MTV, the brand, doing research there, and then working, leading that department there, and have been here in the corporate group for about 5 years.
So how did you get from the advertising world into the research world? I was working in Boston at an advertising agency where we basically were the team that fueled all the things around Converse, Chuck Taylor's, the first round, as the shoe for grunge America. And I was recruited to come to New York to work for Sterling Group, which is a brand consultancy. And in that job, I realized that in the agency world, it's like you are focused on advertising only. When you're a consultant, it's like you're talking to everyone across the company. I was in Pepsi bottling trucks at 6 in the morning. And I learned that insights come from and should be shared with everywhere in the company. And that was something I was not getting from advertising, and I realized this is where I need to be. This is the kind of thing I need to be doing. And so I had, when you're a consultant, similar to ad agency, you get to work with lots of different companies and see if those are the companies you want to work with or not, or what are the skeletons in the closet. And MTV basically called me. My predecessor was Gwen Lepsky, who actually was an account planner at Chiat Day in New York, and she had been following my career, she said. And I came in for an interview, and it just was a natural fit. It's like I loved music, I loved pop culture, I loved television. I never knew that anyone could get paid for all those things. That's how I made it here. So your parents were right.
Right. Yes, they were right.
Your networks have a unique advantage when it comes to cross-platform because they start off essentially engaged. Have you done any research that you can share with us on cross-platform measurement?
Well, we're beginning to get into more, now that there are new kinds of tools, we're continuously testing and learning and kicking the tires on and working with partners to help refine their products and services as well. Over time, we've certainly learned, we've been able to quantify that people do start out already engaged. And that's a huge finding, and something that I think a lot of measurement approaches don't acknowledge. They assume that people are not, and you have to earn that engagement, and that there's this giant hill to overcome. But we found that they, in fact, are already engaged, being the media company that was the first to quantify the value of engagement across screens by being able to prove
that smaller and smaller audiences are of higher and higher value, requires it enabled basically us to apply that approach across all kinds of genres of content, all kinds of audiences, and one of the big learnings with that was when you set it free, when it actually the height of that currently where we see is like actually when the consumer has it on their own in their terms, then their affinity for your message, for your content, for all the measures that we're all aspiring to reach, that's when they excel. Is when actually the consumer is co-creating with you and actually being able to take the message on their own. So we were able to dispel a lot of threat that we all were feeling across the industry, and certainly gatekeepers or gateways to consumers and what their behaviors and intentions are. Being able to dispel that with data and also reasons why and how to do it again has helped us quite a bit.